Mr. Gore had abandoned much of the vote, but of course it doesn't show anywhere else in the country tonight.
Al Gore, Ralph Nader rather, he did not run your sort of classic inside campaign with lots of strategic decisions, a very smart sense of how to manipulate things. He ran as who he is, Ralph Nader, and some places like coming to New York, he's obviously not going to affect the race, but he campaigned hard and long in places like Oregon and Washington, and he may affect the race there.
Okay, thanks very much. Just to remind people, we're going to stay on 11 o'clock for the obvious reasons. The polls are closing in California, and we want to know what we're going to come upon in California at the moment. But one of the other reasons Mr. Nader continues to run so vigorously on behalf of the Green Party, as the leader of the Green Party, is because he wants to try to reach 5%. So 4 years from now, they get federal matching funds.
First, fast, accurate. News 2 starts now.
It is a tale of two cities and the fate of two men. George W. Bush waits in Austin, Texas, and Al Gore waits in Nashville for the job of a lifetime. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to News 2 at 10. We will be going back to ABC News as they make projections about states as they are closing on the West Coast. Until then, we're going to be doing our local news. And we knew it was going to be close. But how close? Well, as it stands right now, Democratic candidate Al Gore has 173 electoral votes, according to ABC News.
His opponent, George W. Bush, has 217. That puts Bush in the lead for now. As we know, it's a close race, so that could change.
We just knew now that there has been a change. ABC News is projecting that California will go to Vice President Al Gore. That projection has just been made.
We'll be making those calls as soon as we hear. And we're going to begin our live team coverage tonight with News 2's Chris Bungard at Legislative Plaza, where Gore supporters have been watching and waiting. Gore?
Well, they're probably going to be waiting a long time here for the vice president to come out. It's just far too early for him to be making any statements. Of course, we've seen George Bush, who kind of gave everybody a startle about an hour ago when he said he's not ready to concede Florida. And sure enough, that went back into the undecided column, and it looks like it's leading for Florida. Now, you do hear some leading for Mr. Bush. Now, you do hear some cheers behind me. There's been a long list of performers here tonight. We're also, there has been an awful lot of Gore supporters, people like Mayor Ed Rendell of Philadelphia. We're hoping to talk to him in just a moment here and ask him about what it looks like for the rest of the night with Mr. Gore has a chance to win now that things seem to be tilting ever so slightly toward Mr. Bush. Bob?
Chris, let's take a quick look at the vote here in Tennessee. The presidential vote, as we know, it is projected to go to Governor Bush. ABC News is projecting now that California and Hawaii are in Mr. Gore's column. But what's the feeling down there? Why did Tennessee not go in Al Gore's column?
Well, I think we can maybe ask that question to the Philadelphia Mayor Ed Rendell, who's also the chairman of the Democratic National Committee. And our question back in the studio is, maybe you can answer this. Why did Mr. Gore not win in Tennessee, first of all?
Well, you know, it's interesting. The demographics of so many states have changed. Tennessee's become a rock-solid Republican state. Since '94, we haven't won a statewide election in Tennessee, as you know. And it was difficult. It was difficult to win here. Obviously, we're very disappointed, even if we win the presidency. And I still think we will. I think Al Gore is going to be disappointed that he didn't carry Tennessee. But look at the flip side, Florida, with Jeb Bush being the governor of Florida. Who would have ever thought that the Republicans would lose Florida? Now, they haven't lost it yet. But do you think anybody in June would have thought that we'd be sitting here at this hour with Florida too close to call?
Real quickly, your home state of Pennsylvania. Governor Ridge, I understand, is now ready to concede Pennsylvania. What do you have to say to your governor up there?
I have a great deal of admiration for the governor, but he's dead wrong. We carried Philadelphia by a huge margin, and the Philadelphia suburbs, which 10 years ago were rock rib Republican, we clocked them in the Philadelphia suburbs. They can't overcome that in the rest of the state.
Appreciate you coming up and taking some time with us here.
My pleasure.
It's Mayor Ed Rendell of Philadelphia, who's also the chairman of the Democratic National Committee. Kate Merrill is outside here at Legislative Plaza. Kate?
Well, Chris, while most things are going on inside Legislative Plaza where you are, there's still a lot of action right outside the gates where I'm standing, just behind you. And take a look, the streets are pretty full, pretty busy. If you take a look down Union Street, right beneath where you're standing on the riser, you can see the streets are packed. We're talking about voters, we're talking about political supporters, and there's even some star power here. Take a look. Okay, well, obviously we don't have that tape. Hopefully we'll get it for you later. But people like Morgan Fairchild, Elaine Boozler, Rob Reiner, Cher, just a few of the big names that have come out tonight to support Al Gore. They've been campaigning for days. They've been going on bus tours and saying that they really support him, and they hope that their star power helps a little bit in this campaign. So hopefully we'll have that for you a little later in the newscast. Brett, back to you in the studio.
Okay, thank you very much, Kate. Of course, that's a look at what's going on here in Nashville. But we also want to find out what's going on in Austin tonight, the site of the Republican headquarters for this election, and that's where we find News 2's Jay Korf.
Well, Brett, you could not ask for any more drama in Austin, Texas tonight. This crowd, estimated anywhere between 10 and 20,000, is completely packed on Congress behind me. And if you look all up and down 11th, which is right in front of this gorgeous state capitol, there is no room to move whatsoever. The amazing thing was, when this crowd heard that the electoral tally had gone in favor of their governor, the man that they want for president, they went berserk. But throughout this evening, it's really been a seesaw, a teeter from nervousness to jubilation. Well, it is certainly safe to say that the folks here in this town will not quit here. They will not give up. They will certainly be very excited until the final vote is counted, and that might not be until very late into the evening. Governor Bush has not spoken yet, but we do expect him possibly within the next half an hour. Back to you.
Said Jay, it is still very close. ABC News projecting now 231 electoral votes for Albert Gore Jr. and 217 for Texas Governor George W. Bush. About as close as you can get now that the west half of the country now comes into play.
Now, we have folks all over the area covering this story for us tonight. Let's find out if we've got News 2's Dan McDonald, who's been live at the Wild Horse Saloon all evening, where he's covering the Republicans from the Tennessee perspective. Dan, are you there?
I am here, Brett and Bob. I'll tell you what, this is a room filled with nervous anticipation. There was sort of a groan when the call went out that Florida had gone to Gore. Huge roar when they came back on the network saying, hey, Florida's still in play, but it was nothing like the roar that went through this room when they announced that George W. Bush took Al Gore's home state of Tennessee. News 2 photojournalist Denise Kurlikowski was roaming through the crowd with the camera when that happened, and here's what she saw and heard. It's going to be close.
Isn't that great? That is great.
Gore free Tennessee by George.
I am very, very proud that Tennessee has gone George W. Bush. To me, Al Gore is not a representative of Tennessee. He is a representative of Washington, D.C.
You can hear from the enthusiasm here. We expect to see President-elect George Bush at the end of the night. We're happy that Tennessee was able to play a part in that.
I'm telling you, you could barely hear yourself think in this place when they made that announcement. But as Brett, as you said earlier in the evening, you know, the real issue now is the state of Florida. As Florida goes, so goes this election, it looks like at this point, and everyone is nervously awaiting the results from the Sunshine State. Back to you in the studio.
So they went nuts when they didn't get Florida back, but it was back up in the air.
Yeah, it's one of these deals where, you know, you think you lost the thing and you're really on pins and needles for all these other states, and then they tell you you're back in the race. Well, you know, people are just, you know, they're excited about that, but of course, it's not over, and that state's not over until they get more of these precincts voting. They probably called it too early, and everyone's really anxiously awaiting that because I think they know if they do win Florida, it pretty much looks like Bush is going to win this election.
Well, Dan McDonald, I know we'll be back to you at the Wild Horse Saloon. Thank you very much.
The scenario's changing in both campaigns because, as we just heard just a few minutes ago, ABC News now calling California for the Gore campaign. Let's go over to our analysts, talk about all the changes tonight, guys. And Florida in play, out of play. California now, maybe too early, going to Vice President Al Gore. Still Washington and Oregon to come.
I don't think I've ever seen them declare a state in play and then suddenly move it back out again. I think it's been a historic night already, but you sure haven't seen these things get declared and then get pulled back again. And I think that's causing even more concern and sweat as we head into the final hours of this campaign.
And of course, you know, there are a lot of people who have real serious questions about whether the press is honest and fair toward Bush, whether they're fair toward Gore. And when something like this happens, I think that it gives a special excitement to people who think that already the election process is a little bit downgraded, particularly since we've been talking about the Electoral College and everything like this. I couldn't help but marvel a while ago when my good Republican friend was talking about they were so glad to see Bush carry Tennessee, and I understand that. But I would like to point out to them that this is not the first time in American history this has happened. It also happened in 1916 with Woodrow Wilson, and he became a very great president.
And with apologies to Mayor Rendell from Philadelphia, I don't think you can call Tennessee a rock-solid Republican state. We've got a lot of Republicans here now, but the legislature, Tommy, is still pretty decidedly in Democratic hands.
Well, that's right. And, of course, this instead of saying a rock-rib state, let's say they're a switch state. Because we, in 1970, we had 2 Republican senators. We had a new Republican governor, the first one in 50-some-odd years. The legislature still was controlled Democratic. That switched. We went to Lamar Alexander. We now have 2 Republican senators, a Republican governor. You control the congressional delegation. This is a switch state. It's no longer a safe state, but it is a conservative state. And I think that that is something that we, as Democrats, have to live with in future elections. It's more conservative, maybe, than we'd like for it to be.
Let's talk a little bit about the fallout from Al Gore not carrying his home state. What does that mean, particularly for the Democratic Party, Tom?
Well, if he doesn't win the election, it doesn't mean an awful lot, one way perhaps or another. But if he wins the election, having lost Tennessee, then the state Democratic Party is going to have to regroup and redo. And there are a lot of people out there that think that that needs to be done already. This Democratic Party we've not been able to put forth a gubernatorial candidate 2 years ago. We've not been able to put forth a senatorial candidate that really hit the wires running. We've not been able to fund campaigns as we should. It's going to be a new day for the Democratic Party, and hopefully the Democratic Party will wake up to the reality that we're not God Almighty in this state anymore, and we've got to appeal to independent voters. We've got to appeal to even Republican voters and bring them back into our group.
You've got the gubernatorial race coming back at you in 2 years.
And we still don't have a candidate. And, you know, I mean, 2 years, we say it's a lifetime in politics, and I understand that. I think the Republicans have got people standing in line. All 3 of the congressmen, I think. You've got 3 congressmen that would run. You've got Fred Thompson. If he runs, neither of those 3 congressmen will run. And our candidates are going to have to stand up and be counted. I mean, we've got people like Clement. We've got Bredesen, who might get back in. I think he's out. Tanner, who might get back in. Ford in Memphis. But the Democrats have got to consolidate behind a good candidate and put forth the effort to elect him. And we've not been doing that.
Looks good for you.
I think the negative fallout also for Al Gore, if he loses this race and loses the state of Tennessee, I don't know that Al Gore would want to come back here and run for governor. You might get a lot of Democrats pushing him to do that if he had carried Tennessee. I think you're going to see a lot of pressure on Fred Thompson, either way this goes, for him to run for governor and try to recapture or keep that state house after Don Sundquist.
All right, gentlemen, thank you.
Changes aplenty tonight going on as well in Austin, Texas, where News 2's Jay Korf is hearing the news about Florida in play, as well as California now going to the Gore camp. Jay?
Oh, Bob, just a short time ago, we went into this crowd, which I'm calling a sea of humanity for Bush backers, and it has really been a roller coaster evening for them emotionally. They have been on a seesaw effect, if you will, from nervousness to optimism and from stunned silence to confident jubilation. Downtown Austin was transformed Tuesday night into a sea of Governor George W. Bush backers.
I think that what he can bring to America is what we all need, credibility to the White House.
Claude Hempel volunteered for Bush's campaign and strongly supports the Texas governor for president. But there's a sense of quiet concern in this crowd. You see, this race for the White House is painfully close.
It is extremely close. I think it's going to be the election of my generation.
Let's see what man comes forth to be the best man. And we shall see in the next few hours or so. So good luck to the best man.
But I think it's going to be right down to the wire. We may not know when we leave here tonight.
And once again, this crowd, just moments ago while we were in that story, went nuts again when they found out that Governor Bush had won Colorado. It's safe to say that this crowd is going to be here for quite a while, partying deep into the night. because they're probably not going to be satisfied until every vote is counted. And it's our understanding that Florida, one of those crucial swing states that could decide who wins the White House, those results might not come back until after 11 o'clock. We'll, of course, be here to tell you what happens. Back to you, Bob.
Yeah, Jay, I think you're right. There are going to be highs and lows in both camps throughout the evening tonight for a while to go. Thanks, Jay.
Well, this is one event that is drawing celebrities all across the country to Nashville here tonight. But there are also a lot of just regular, everyday people out there celebrating the event. News 2's Melissa Avery has more on that.
We're here at War Memorial Plaza where it meets Dedrick Street, and more than 7,000 people are expected to be here tonight. But if you don't have a pass, you don't get past this gate. Thousands of people worked early to get a pass to tonight's event. Some were out of luck.
I didn't really have a pass, but I just came down to see what was going on. I wanted to see all the people.
Some say their seat outside the gates is better than the view from inside.
Well, we have a very good seat. It's very comfortable. We can see everything. The bathrooms are right here. Food's right over there. It's good. We picked the spot.
It's expected to be a long night tonight, and most of these people here that I talked with say that they're going to stay here till it's over, till Al Gore takes the stage. Back to you.
Thank you, Melissa. Several other races going on in this state today. And Tennessee has one U.S. Senate seat up for grabs. As expected, incumbent Bill Frist is declared the winner there. The heart surgeon turned Republican senator will get a second term in office. At this point, he is beating his opponent, Jeff Clark, the Democrat, with 65% of the vote. And 9 Tennessee congressional seats are also up for grabs.
Here's a look at those 9 races, and all incumbents are winning tonight. Incumbent Bob Clement, facing 2 opponents in the 5th district, wins easily. Bart Gordon is up for re-election against 2 challengers in the 6th district. He, too, wins easily.
In District Number 4, Congressman Van Hillary also faces a pair of opponents there. He is winning with 66% of the vote. John Duncan is way out in the lead with 89% of the vote in his District Number 2.
Incumbent Republican Zach Wamp is up against 2 hopefuls in the 3rd district. He will win easily. In District 7th, it is Ed Bryant, who is winning easily there. And in House District Number 8, John Tanner holds on to his seat. We should tell you, too, in District 9, Harold Ford Jr. has won. He did not have an opponent. It wasn't slap shots or concerts tonight, but election returns at the Gaylord Entertainment Center in the first ever election night kickoff. The doors open about 6:30 tonight to the public. Every monitor in the House was turned to the election coverage. And citizens and dignitaries filed in to hobnob and talk politics in this nonpartisan setting.
Well, I think this is a good idea to have a bipartisan place for people to watch the election.
A lot of people on election night don't feel a part of a partisan celebration on either side, but might just want to be out and celebrate generally the fact that it's one of the things America does best, conducts elections.
Many people say they use the GEC as a jumping-off place for other parties downtown and the Gore gathering on the Capitol downtown in Tennessee. A hotly contested U.S. Senate race has come to an end in New York. First Lady Hillary Rodham Clinton is being declared the winner to fill the New York's empty Senate seat. Less than a year after moving to New York, the Democrat has defeated Republican Congressman and native New Yorker Rick Lazio. Mrs. Clinton becomes the first First Lady to be elected to a public office.
The 2000 vote did not go out without a hitch tonight.
There were a few problems for voters here in Tennessee. News 2's Karen Brady joined us now live from the Davidson County Election Commission. Karen?
Well, Bob and Brett, usually on Election Day, the Election Commission is only open to election workers as they come here with their votes from their different precincts. But tonight, they opened up to the voters because there was a big mix-up, and some of the voters found out they weren't registered.
Gonna be here a while, grab a Snickers. We're gonna be here.
The lines were long, and so were the faces. As each of these people turned out to vote, they quickly learned there were problems.
Did you try to register when you got your driver's license?
These voters thought they had registered at the DMV. They quickly learned that wasn't the case.
I found out a couple of days ago that I was not registered to vote.
I checked the box on the bottom of the driver's license registration, and I asked them if I needed any more application, and they said that it was all taken care of.
But it wasn't.
100, 101.
So everyone had to take a number and wait until they were called. Eventually, they would get to vote.
We're taking people one at a time, and they're voting with a paper ballot.
It's been a very long day. I'm about to get frustrated, but I'm going to hang in there to cast my vote. I want my vote to be made known tonight.
Well, Bob and Brett, we have been told that all of the precincts, all the ballots from those precincts have been turned in here now. They just continue the counting. We'll keep you posted. Back to you.
All right, thanks, Karen.
Well, still to come, the future of liquor sales is on the line in some parts of Middle Tennessee, and we'll have the latest on those results.
And the excitement's mounting here in Music City, where Al Gore supporters are waiting for an announcement of one kind or another tonight.
From the filmmakers of The Prince of Egypt comes the best movie premiering on video this year. Joseph, you're not like the rest of us. Joseph knows what dreams mean.
I know what your dreams mean.
How could you? His jealous brothers force him away.
Judah!
And now he rises to power to become one of the greatest heroes of all time.
I'm told you merely need to hear a dream. You can explain it.
That is true.
I am giving him power over all Egypt.
Joseph, King of Dreams. Own this Parents' Choice Award winner today.
I don't like paying extra for long distance. Free long distance? We're on that. Where are we? The border of area codes 205 and 334. See, with most phone companies, if you call me here, it's free. If you call me here, it's extra. Here, free. Here, extra. At PowerTel, we thought, why should it be any different if you call from here or here?
No long-distance charges with our 50-state rate. PowerTel, we're on that.
For over 100 Thanksgivings, Kroger has set the table for more family gatherings than any other grocery store in America. And to say thanks this holiday season, you'll find hundreds of Kroger Plus Card specials like these. Riverside turkeys are buy one, get one free. Half gallons of Kroger orange juice are 99 cents, and boneless half pork loin is just $1.99 a pound. Thanksgiving at Kroger. One more reason to go Krogering.
At the season, at gift giving, at your service merchandise.
For your jewelry, for your place.
Make it a picture-perfect holiday. All Olympus cameras and all camera accessories are now on sale. 35mm APS and digital. Everything on the photographer's wish list. More choices, better prices, guaranteed.
At your service, service merchandise.
Downtown Nashville is buzzing with Democrats waiting for a win for Vice President Al Gore.
All kinds of supporters have been drifting in and out of Legislative Plaza all evening. News 2's Chris Bungard is down in the middle of it. Chris?
Well, Bob, basically, we're hearing a lot of music here. I believe it's this is the tape version we're back to now. We talked with Mayor Ed Rendell of Philadelphia just a little bit ago, and basically he's trying to keep an upbeat, you saw how the Electoral College is. I think it's, 5 votes for Mr. Gore at this point over Mr. Bush, and with Florida still in play in several of those western states, Bob.
All right, thanks, Chris. We'll be checking back with you.
Well, area Republicans are also out in Music City, and they've gotten rowdy lately. News 2's Dan McDonald is at the Wild Horse Saloon to bring us up to date. Dan?
Well, Bob, I'll tell you what, they feel very good about what's happening with this election. One of the things that they're looking at is that what happened in Florida was this. They announced Gore as the winner early on. The cheer you hear is they just announced Nevada going for George Bush. It's only 4 electoral votes, so let's keep that in context. But every time Bush wins a state, of course, well, they go nuts here because they just feel like the momentum keeps going. But what I was saying about Florida is this. They announced that Florida had gone to Gore when only the part of Florida, that most of the Florida is in the Eastern time zone, that part in the Panhandle that's in the Central time zone, very Republican, very much Bush country, and they had announced it before those results come in, and that's why they believe strongly here that their man, Bush, will carry the state of Florida. Of course, that's really the thing everyone's looking at now. They believe that if Florida goes towards Bush, there's almost no way, if you do the math, that Gore can pull this thing out. So they're feeling very good about it. But let me tell you, there's people walking around with victory cigars and other things. They're not smoking them yet. I'll tell you what, there's still a lot of nervousness here. There's a lot of tension. You don't want to get ahead of yourself, and people don't want to start celebrating prematurely. They want to wait till the numbers come in and wait till their man wins. But I'll tell you what, they feel very good about what's happening, and they do believe in their hearts that George Bush is going to be the next president.
So they've got them broken out, but they haven't lit the cigars yet, huh?
That's right. Not yet.
All right, thanks, Dan.
Of course, we're also keeping a close watch on several other local races.
All kinds of races tonight. The office of mayor is up for grabs in several towns. In Coopertown, Herman Davis became the city's new mayor, defeating Jack Long and William Carlisle. In Ridgetop, Darrell Denton has defeated Larry Hinkle. In Hendersonville, Jim Fuqua is the new mayor, defeating the incumbent mayor, R.J. Hank Thompson.
Over in Mount Juliet tonight, the mayor there is now Kevin Mack. In Watertown, Michael Jennings has won a mayor's seat over Dorothy Vaden. And in Nolensville, Charles Napper edged out Henry Parman.
And in some Middle Tennessee cities, there's more at stake than just choosing new leaders. There are also plenty of heated issues on the ballot. In Laverne and Mount Juliet, voters are weighing in on new liquor laws. In Laverne, voters have approved the sale of liquor by the drink by more than 700 votes. They also approved packaged liquor sales by more than 400 votes. And in Mount Juliet, voters have approved liquor by the drink sales by a margin of more than 600 votes.
There is a lot going on, so stay with us. There is much more election coverage to come. We will head back to Austin, Texas, where the Bush camp is waiting with bated breath.
More women choose Baptist.
You're going to love McDonald's great breakfast specials like the Egg McMuffin for only 99 cents. Add a serving of 100% pure Florida orange juice. Start your day with a 99-cent Egg McMuffin.
At McDonald's, we love to see you smile.
You're going to love our manager special because right now you can get a quarter pounder with cheese for just 99 cents. That's right, a quarter pound all beef burger with 2 slices of melting cheese for only 99 cents. Now I know you're smiling.
We love to see you smile.
Understand something straight away. Rooms to Go did not get to be America's #1 furniture company by accident. We got there for some very good reasons, like great fashion, unbeatable prices, and incredible finance offers like the one going on right now. Get beautiful furniture with no money down, no payments, and no interest for 16 months. That's first payment 16 months from now. No tricks, no accruals, and no interest. Just what you'd expect from Rooms to Go, America's #1 furniture company.
You're looking at a live picture here of Legislative Plaza, that is the War Memorial in downtown Nashville. And while there are Republicans gathered here in Nashville, there is a bigger crowd gathered in Austin, Texas.
That's because that's where George W. Bush and his supporters are watching tonight's election events unfold. News 2's Jay Korf is right in the thick of things. And Jay, what's going on there?
Well, Brett, this crowd of probably 10 to 20,000 is certainly on edge, but you get the sense that they're anticipating victory, certainly a confident crowd, something we haven't done so far tonight that I really want to do so you can get a sense as to the gravity of this story. Look at all of the media here. We are on the 6th level of an 8-level riser that is filled with media from around the world. Sometimes when you're not doing a live shot, you can overhear different languages, Russian, Spanish, Italian, and of course, a couple of 100 yards away from this stage, from this location, is the throng of people on Congress and 11th, and the stage is about 200 yards behind us. Just wanted to give you a sense as to where we are. There's a couple more levels up above me. The bottom line, though, is we don't know if a couple 100 yards away in a couple of hours if Governor Bush will be giving a concession speech or a victory speech. And we'll, of course, be here to tell you what happens. Back to you, Brett and Bob.
Don't you think they'd rather have the victory speech down there, Jay?
Oh, there's no doubt. In this place, I can't even qualify how crazy they're going to go if there is, in fact, a victory speech.
All right, we'll talk with you later. Thanks, Jay.
Well, one thing that did not play much of a role today was the weather here in Middle Tennessee. Beautiful. It was gorgeous, but that could change. Let's go over to Lisa Patton at the Weather Center.
Well, Brett and Bob, it is changing right now. I want you to see the radar picture here so you'll know what to expect tomorrow. You got storms coming up out of northern Alabama. Those are lifting to the north. We've got rain back to the west. That's encroaching on western Tennessee, and all of this is going to converge on middle Tennessee. So we're going to add a little more to the rain bucket overnight and for the next couple of days, believe it or not. We're going to be looking at rain in middle Tennessee. So we will do some more catching up. They've got big snow up in the Dakotas, down in Texas, and lots of this precipitation is going to be riding our way over the next couple of days. Now, behind this frontal boundary, and you can clearly see where it is, we're still mild here in the 60s. They've got very cold air. Billings, Montana at 19 degrees right now. That cold air will not make it as far as middle Tennessee, but the rain will. And we're going to show you the News 2 rainfall predictor to show you what to expect. The wee hours of the night, it looks like we will have the rain moving up from the south. Some of it could get very heavy for the rush hour commute tomorrow morning. That's what's indicated here by the bright reds, very intense rainfall. Looks like we could continue to see some heavy rainfall, especially east of Nashville for about noontime tomorrow. Still showers spread all across middle Tennessee, and that's going to be the case even through Wednesday night and Thursday. We think we'll see even more rain and maybe even some thunderstorms mixing in as well, so we could have some rumbles out there. Now, we do have the rain moving in overnight tonight, 58 degrees for the low temperature with a light wind out of the northwest. Tomorrow, cloudy skies, showers and storms in the forecast. It looks like maybe the stormiest weather will be south and east of Nashville. We'll keep tabs with it on Storm Tracker 2000. 70 degrees the high temperature tomorrow, and then it looks like the 5-day forecast will keep that rain and storm chance in through Thursday. Now, we do see some cooler air by Friday, 59 degrees the high there with 37 for the low. On Saturday, partly cloudy skies and 62. Another rainmaker, it looks like by the end of the weekend. So we've asked for the rain, and it looks like we're going to get it.
We didn't ask for 37, Lisa. That's cold.
Well, that concludes this edition of News 2 at 10.
Please stay with us as our special election coverage begins right now.
First, fast, accurate. News 2's coverage of the 2000 vote continues now.
And good evening, everyone. Welcome to our special coverage of the 2000 vote. One of the closest races in history still cannot be called. It is still virtually neck and neck.
It is. In fact, we're over here looking at the computer screen, and the popular vote across the country stands at 48% to 48%.
That's
it doesn't get much closer than that.
You can get. Republicans, though, here in Davidson County and Nashville and Middle Tennessee, they've been hooping it up all night. Let's go to News 2's Dan McDonald.
Really, one of the storylines of the night is that George W. Bush took the state of Tennessee. The Republicans have been saying that all along. I don't think people really believed him until these votes came in. One of the people really instrumental in engineering this victory is David Kustoff. He is the Bush campaign manager for the state of Tennessee. Congratulations, big victory. But this is not just a moral victory, is it?
No, it's really not. I mean, we said all along this election is going to be a close election. I wish I wasn't quite as prophetic as we were. But those 11 electoral votes that Tennessee provides could very well make the difference. And so we fought like tooth and nail to make sure that they were in the W column for George W. Bush. And fortunately, our hard work paid off. And I'm so proud of Governor Bush and all of our volunteers who made it happen.
Tell me this. One of the things that happened here tonight was Governor Sundquist was booed when he came into this room. What did you make of that?
I think that's unfortunate. Governor Sundquist has done what he thought is best for the state of Tennessee.
Wow. Let me tell you what's going on here. They just called Florida for Bush. That could be the election. Let's ask David Kustoff what that means.
It's a big shot in the arm for us. You know, our 11 electoral votes may be the margin that pushes us over the 270. That may be the margin. And having Florida come in, I was really disappointed in the media for calling that race too early. It seems like they would have dotted their I's and crossed their T's. Kind of irresponsible of them. But the will of the people bears out, and I'm so happy about Florida and about the state of Tennessee.
Can Gore win this election without winning Florida? Is it possible?
Well, I think honestly right now we're probably all flying by the seat of our pants, seeing which states come in, which ways. They're all so close. The margins in these individual states are close, and we're having to take it battleground by battleground, state by state. So I think right now anything is still possible.
Let me just ask you this last question. Why do you think that George W. Bush took the state of Tennessee? Al Gore has never lost an election in this home state.
The people of Tennessee best know Al Gore better than any other state in the nation. And with that said, they better identified with the ideals, beliefs, and convictions of George W. Bush, and simply saw George W. Bush as a stronger leader than Al Gore.
David Kustoff, thank you for your time. I appreciate it very much. Well, you heard it here, man. What a roar that went up when they announced that George W. Bush is now the winner in Florida. What a turn of events. And that may be the pivotal thing that happened tonight. That could be it. Back to you in the studio.
If those numbers hold, that puts it at about 242 for Mr. Bush, 231 for Gore. We still got California and the rest of the West Coast to decide.
And a lot of folks are here watching the action unfold for the vice president who's in town. One of the people watching the action is News 2's Kate Merrill, who's been on the other side of the fence, as you might say, at Legislative Plaza. Kate?
Brett, that's right. We are just outside the gates of Legislative Plaza, where they're still partying at this point. Take a look. You can see there are thousands of people over there. Right now you're looking at the media riser, where hundreds of and thousands of reporters actually are reporting back, giving the news to their communities. Now I want to show you, take a look over here. This is the police. They're ready for anything. When this thing finally wraps up, they are staged, they're on horses, they're barricades, they're prepared for an outcome either way. Now, there are a lot of people down here. There are politicians, there are political supporters, there are just voters, and there is a lot of star power down here tonight. Take a look. Legislative Plaza, the excitement builds. The streets are filled with Gore supporters. Many of these faces are familiar.
Oh, I think we're definitely going to win. I'm from Texas. I'm optimistic.
People like actress Morgan Fairchild. She's in town making sure her candidate Al Gore has her support. For her, it comes down to issues like the Supreme Court appointments and health care.
I just think it's a very, very important election for the future in this century of the country and for the Supreme Court, and I've been working on it all year. And
I haven't slept since Friday. I've been on the road campaigning.
Comedian Elaine Boozler is also here, but she's not here just to celebrate. She's also working.
We came at our own expense completely just to be part of something wonderful that we believe in and love and show support. And look, I'm a comedian. No one's going to take my word for anything. I just came for enjoyment and, to show love and support and maybe entertain the people a little bit.
And those celebrities, you can see they're walking around the streets all night. We keep passing Morgan Fairchild, Rob Reiner. They're all just kind of walking around here, mingling with people, mingling with Gore supporters. It's really kind of interesting out here. Back to you in the studio.
Okay, thanks, Kate.
They may have to mingle for a while longer before we know the outcome tonight. Stay with us. We're coming right back.
Elsa was abused for almost 20 years, and though she was never taught to read or write, never allowed to attend school or have friends, Elsa learned. She learned to survive. Don't miss A Survivor Story, Thursday at 10, only on News 2.
News 2 and TriStar wants you to buckle up, baby. So now through November 29th, we're giving away a car seat during every newscast. Watch News 2 this morning, noon, 5, 6, and 10 for your chance to win. Buckle up, baby, from TriStar Health System and News 2.
The trucks are here, and so are the factory reps. Rack up the best savings of the year at the Factory Direct Truckload Sale on all pool tables and accessories now at Pool and Spa Depot. Best selection, lowest prices in town. World-class full slate tables as low as $9.99. Plus Pool and Spa Depot's low price guarantee and 6 months same as cash on new pool tables from World of Leisure and the Consumer Digest Best Buy table from C.L. Bailey. Factory Direct Sale through Monday. Shop now and save at Pool and Spa Depot.
Hi, I'm here to tell you about the new $29.95 price for Intermedia at Home. And we're keeping it simple. At Home is up to 100 times faster, and it's just $29.95. Great deal, huh? Take us home, Carmen.
Fly through the net with the greatest of ease. At Home is the lightning connection you need. At Home is so speedy, the price is a breeze. It's only $1 a day.
Intermedia at Home, only $29.95. Plus, sign up now, get your first month free.
Every year, I gather the antenna balls for a company retreat. It's a chance to get away from our offices and antennas and enjoy the great outdoors. It's a weekend for building teamwork and trust. All right, listen up. This is a big deal. We're going to spread the word about our delicious sourdough Jack, and our first stop will be Nashville!
Jack rescued me from a wild chipmunk.
I love you, bro!
Austin, Texas, you can see the crowd gathering there, waiting for George W. Bush a little later tonight. Crowd gathering here in Nashville, too, at the War Memorial Plaza, as they await the appearance of Al Gore. But as you've heard, things are just a little too close. California been giving to Al Gore, but just moments ago, Florida goes to the Bush column. Let's talk to our analysts about this. Guys, this one makes it very, very tight for both sides. Tighter for Gore.
We started the evening saying Florida was going to be the swing state. It was going to be the critical one. And early on, when we thought it was in the Gore column, we thought it was a Gore race to lose. And now it looks like it's back in the Bush column. And it may be that Al Gore has to carry every single state from here on out.
Can he win, though, without Florida?
He can win, but he's got to carry it all. Exactly. I laughed and said a while ago, he's got to carry it all plus Jamaica. But he has got to carry every state that's left. I mean, he can't lose anything.
Well, the good news, Jeb can go to Thanksgiving dinner now.
Oh, that's right.
A hot Thanksgiving dinner. It was going to be a cold one.
What's still out there, Tom?
Well, you've got Wisconsin, you have got Washington, Oregon, you've got California. California's already been given to him, and you've got Arizona left. And I believe you've got Iowa's gone.
Arkansas, I think.
Arkansas. That's what you've got.
If
he can win if he carries it out.
And I don't think anybody would have thought we would have been looking at Wisconsin at this stage of the game, thinking it could be the definitive state at this point. If Tommy Thompson, the governor of Wisconsin, puts Wisconsin in the Bush column, he can name his cabinet spot.
It's that kind of night.
And, you know, that's right. And it's not completely over. And I'm certainly not saying that a candidate need to do this. But there may be some objections to certain states that may last for days before we really know what the final vote is in some of those states.
All right, guys, we appreciate the insight. We'll check back with you later.
One of the tightest races we've seen in history. And for the very latest, we're going to go back to New York, and Peter Jennings, ABC, is covering it all the way through. We'll be back after that.
Has 233 electoral votes. Mr. Gore has 231. Now, just come and take a look at this map, because this story is still quite extraordinary. If you were with us earlier in the evening, you know that virtually every news agency in the country first projected that Florida would go to Mr. Gore, and now it's come back to too close to call, and there is a fight going on at any number of levels about vote counting and vote returns in that state, not to mention absentee ballots. Arkansas, still too close to call. Iowa still too close to call. Wisconsin still too close to call. Nevada still too close to call. And Washington and Oregon still too close to call. 233 electoral votes to 231 electoral votes. The very best thing I think we can do for you at home at the moment is to try to put together what looks like a possible roadmap until the end. Take a look first of all at this. These are the available electoral votes as of this hour. 25 in Florida, very contested. Arkansas 6, Wisconsin 11, Iowa 7, Oregon 7, Washington 11, Alaska 3, Nevada 4, for a total of 76. Now, if you take 231 for Mr. Gore, he needs 39. You take 233 for Mr. Bush, he needs 37. George Stephanopoulos, it could not be closer. So let us try to chart a road here.
Let me
do it first of all for Mr. Gore.
Mr. Gore, let me build up from 231 for Mr. Gore. And if I can, it might help if I just walk up there and
please
show you. He's at 231 right now. So to get to 270, he's got to win Wisconsin. He's got to win Iowa. He's got to win Oregon. He's got to win Washington. That'll get him to 267. And then he's still got to pick up, say, either Arkansas, which will get him to 273, or Nevada, which gets him to 271. You could argue with the Alaska, that could get him to 270. That's very unlikely for Al Gore. So it just shows how tough it is for him to get to 270 without Florida.
This is, and if he wins Florida, of course, this just gets a whole lot easier.
Exactly. Then all he does is need Washington and one of these other states, and he does it.
Okay, now let's just go down those states at the moment. Florida's too close to call. Arkansas is still too close to call, but was thought by the Bush campaign to maybe be in their camp.
In their direction.
Wisconsin, similarly, toss-up state, battleground state, thought it might go for Mr. Bush.
Thought it might go for Mr. Bush. In the exit polls, he was doing quite well during the day. Governor Tommy Thompson, Republican governor, has a very good organization on the ground there for the Bush campaign. Again, it's one of those states, though, that has gone Democrat the last 3 elections. Iowa, Democratic governor, Tom Vilsack. But again, a lot of rural voters who seem to be fading away from Al Gore.
Oregon, where all of the votes were cast before tonight, though they're still being counted. We just don't know at this point.
We don't know, and it's one of Nader's strongest states. We have to keep that in mind. When you look at Oregon and Washington, the Bush people in the final days was much more confident about Oregon than they were about Washington.
Yeah, their confidence has not been absolutely brilliant this evening in all of the states they said it was going to be. So let me go and talk to our political director, Mark Halperin, and ask you to build a Bush scenario at this point.
Well, the Bush scenario begins and ends, as it has for most of the evening, with Florida. If he gets those 25 electoral votes, you see he goes down to, he only needs 12. Look at that list. There's not a single state on there that is 12 or more, but a combination of almost any two gets you to 12. Obviously, any combination of 3 gets you to 12. And he's got some strong states. Again, as George suggested, Alaska almost certainly goes to Governor Bush. So at that point, he only needs 9. And again, 2 11s on the board, and any combination of any 2 others gets him over.
And what does your anecdotal evidence tell you tonight is happening in Florida?
You know, again, I think that no matter how this turns out, whichever one wins Florida, the other side is going to look close at how all the ballots were handled, whether there are accidents, whether there was possible fraud down the line at some point along the way. If the race is at all close, I think they'll look very closely at it and maybe challenge it.
Is there anything in Florida which favors Mr. Bush or Mr. Gore at the moment? The military comes to mind.
Well, there's a couple things out there. The Democrats are arguing that the southern part of the state, the southeastern part of the state where they're strong, that's where the vote is outstanding, and that when that comes in, they think they're going to win. The Republicans say there's some outstanding ballots to be counted, perhaps more absentee ballots where they're strong. They've got, in the raw vote, they've got a little bit of a lead. And they also say that some military people voting from overseas are going to skew Republican, and maybe those ballots haven't been counted yet.
But it is that close.
It's close, and at this point, again, the winner probably is the one who wins Florida.
Okay, let's take a pause from the numbers for just a moment and talk to the Bush campaign. We're joined by Mark McKinnon, who is the media advisor for the Bush campaign. Mr. McKinnon, your pre-election confidence must at least be jarred, if not shattered yet.
Well, listen, we always knew it was going to be close. Have all along. This was going to be a tough election a year and a half ago, and it's a tough election tonight.
Now, you're looking at the same numerical data, perhaps once removed as we are. Do you have any strong feeling about one place or the other at this moment?
I don't. I feel good about the states that are on the board, and I think we have a good shot at all of them.
And how is Mr. Bush this evening? I know what you're going to tell me. He's calm.
He's calm, serene, confident, and as always, optimistic.
Give us some sense of what's been happening at the governor's mansion this evening.
Well, I've been over at the campaign, Peter, so I can't really tell you. We've been on the phone a lot with the mansion and giving them updates. It's a very exciting night, this kind of night that puts the D in democracy. And it will remind everybody just about just how important every vote is.
Now, were you able to do anything in the course of the evening, as we heard Vice President Gore was, in order to energize people in the western states who had not yet voted?
We've been doing everything. It's money, marbles, and chalk, and we've been putting it all on the board and pulling all stops out.
Okay. Any feeling at all about Florida at this point?
Well, we feel good about it. You know, this is an unfortunate rush to judgment by the media, and we're concerned that rush to judgment could have affected the voting in northern Florida and the Panhandle. And I think there's going to be some real serious discussion about this. I hope there will be, because it could have literally affected the vote there.
Do you believe it would go beyond the level of serious discussion?
I sure hope so. It ought to.
Where might it go?
Well, I think that, you know, I don't know if it's legislated or it's regulated or if there's some sort of self-regulation by the media, but it's got to be addressed.
Do you have any anecdotal evidence from the Panhandle up in the northern part of the state there as to how it may be going at the moment?
I understand it's going great, and we're getting great numbers where we need them.
Okay, thank you very much. George Stephanopoulos, thanks very much, Mark McKinnon. I apologize for cutting you off.
I have great respect for Mark, but I don't quite understand his argument how the reporting could have affected the votes in the Panhandle, because all the polls closed at the same time. Right. So I don't really understand that. Perhaps on the West Coast, but not in the Panhandle of Florida.
There was a complaint from the Bush campaign earlier that by the various news agencies projecting Florida that it might have suppressed vote in the West. Our anecdotal evidence suggests that people were moving to the polls still.
People are moving, and there's probably going to be very high turnout in the West, but at least it's a plausible argument. And they said, as Dean Reynolds reported earlier, that Ohio and West Virginia, which were strong Bush states, were not reported.
And history tells us it'll never be proven.
I don't think we'll ever know. It's going to be one of those mysteries. And it's also setting up, you know, I have a feeling that Florida this year may turn out to have the mythic status that Illinois had in 1960 if it keeps going this way.
Thanks very much, George Stephanopoulos. And all my colleagues will be back in just a minute after this message.
This ABC News special is brought to you by Dodge. The 2000 vote will continue in a moment.
It changed the rules. And with each innovation...
This is a national sales alert from Dodge. Effective immediately, you can get low 0.9 financing for 60 months on 2000 Dodge Dakota and Dodge Durango. You can now save over $4,000 on Dakota and save more than $5,600 on Durango. You can still get 0.9 shorter-term financing on 2001 Dodge Ram or up to $2,000 cash allowance.
Magnum Power. See the friendly Dodge dealer near you.
Around the world, mothers want to protect and nourish their children. So biotechnology researchers have developed golden rice. It will contain beta-carotene, a source of vitamin A. Golden rice could help prevent blindness and infection in millions of children. From medicine to agriculture, biotechnology is providing solutions that are improving lives today and could improve our world tomorrow.
They love us. We'll get the signed contract in front of us.
As LA's hottest ad executive,
I'm a born salesman, closer.
being smooth was part of his game.
I was going to call you.
Yeah, I was going to hold my breath.
Until Abby
Hello.
became a part of his life.
She's not somebody to get tired of. I'm more worried she's going to get tired of me.
Academy Award winners Ben Affleck and Gwyneth Paltrow.
I want someone to say goodnight to. A last call of the day.
Bounce.
I don't have a last call of the day.
Rated PG-13. Everywhere Friday, November 17th.
ABC this Wednesday is a great night of television when this woman gets to the top.
$1 million.
On Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? Then the Drew Carey Show's coming to you
5 seconds, Drew.
live.
I better get into my costume.
And on Spin City.
You want a piece of me?
Charlie Sheen gets the fastest finger from Regis Philbin.
Afraid you might get your dress dirty, Alice? Huh?
Then, before you see a doctor,
Did you care about this patient? Yes. Then why don't you fight for him?
see this Gideon's Crossing. ABC Wednesday, a great night of television.
They now are the #1 team in the country.
Oklahoma, Texas A&M, or Purdue, Michigan State, Saturday on ABC.
The 2000 vote continues. Once again from New York, Peter Jennings.
Welcome back to our coverage. I want to show you right now the popular vote in Florida. We know that on the national level, the popular vote is running about even at the moment. Mr. Gore getting 48% and Mr. Bush 49%. But the popular vote in Florida is what counts, as Florida has become so important this late in the game. Mr. Gore is getting 48% of the vote with 2,195,158. We used to do that numerically in the old days. Mr. Bush is getting 50% with 2,319,000 votes. And I'm going to now go to the magic marker here and see that we can make a couple of other calls here in Colorado. ABC News now projects that Mr. Bush is the winner in Colorado. As we said, Mr. Bush is the winner in Colorado. That was fought quite late into the evening by our projection, a state that is far more mixed than it was 15 and 20 years ago. We project Mr. Bush is the winner there. Similarly, in Arizona, we project that Mr. Bush is the winner in Arizona, John McCain's home state. And prior to 96, at least, Arizona had voted for Democrats all the way back to 1948. But that is by our projection in the Republican column tonight. And we have one more projection for at the moment, not a projection, actually, a call on electoral votes. Actually, that's what we gave you a short while ago. It hasn't changed. 233 and 231. But Sam Donaldson, you can now project control of the Senate.
That's right, Peter. We're going to make a projection in the state of Montana, where ABC News projects that the incumbent Republican Senator, Conrad Burns, has won re-election, defeating Brian Schweitzer. And having done that, we can say that the Republicans are going to control the Senate. Yes, there are 3 states outstanding, Peter, that we haven't been able to call yet, that the Democrats could pick up seats. And you say, well, that would make it 50-50, because at the moment they're one up. But 50-50 would mean that if Joe Lieberman becomes vice president, a Republican governor of Connecticut would appoint a Republican, and there goes that seat. And if Dick Cheney becomes vice president, it's 50-50. Dick Cheney, the vice president, breaks the ties for the Republicans. So the Republicans retain control, Peter, one way or the other.
Thank you very much, Sam. Now joining us is one of the central figures in American political life. He's Wayne LaPierre, who's the executive vice president of the National Rifle Association. He is in our Washington bureau this evening. Good evening, Mr. LaPierre.
Thank you, Peter. Good to be with you.
If I look at your campaigning in the last 18 or 20 days, I see that you may have helped in Ohio and Tennessee and Wisconsin and Alabama and Georgia and Arkansas and West Virginia. You may have helped, but based on our projections so far, you didn't help in Michigan or Pennsylvania. What happened?
Well, I think we did. The fact is, I think we made a major difference in those states. I thought for some time the Gore campaign and the National Democrats made a major miscalculation on the firearms issue. And I think you're seeing it tonight in the House races and the Senate races, and clearly in the presidential race. Remember, when Bill Clinton still had another race to run, he was posing with a shotgun and a string of ducks. The last 2 years, Al Gore, when he came out for federally mandated testing before he can own a firearm, his Department of Justice went on record saying there is no Second Amendment. They have the right to ban all rifles, shotguns, and handguns. They tried to sue the firearms manufacturers. They lit these states on fire, and you could just see it. Tennessee, West Virginia, Arkansas, Wisconsin, Ohio, Missouri. The heartland of America is going, wait a minute, it's my freedom.
Mr. LaPierre, let me ask you about your anecdotal evidence in the states tonight, because your own reporting is pretty good in those states. Talk particularly to me about Michigan and Pennsylvania. As you monitored the states tonight, put aside the message for the second, if you don't mind. Did people split their votes in labor households? Did labor members vote their guns instead of their unions? What's your sense of it?
I think a lot of union households did split the vote, and clearly you could see it. I mean, we had thousands of people showing up at rallies in those states. That's one of the reasons Vice President Gore had to keep going back to those states. But make no mistake, win or lose, we're going to defend this freedom. The union leadership may have given up on it, the national media may have, but we've grown by 1,300,000 members, and win or lose tonight, I think by 2002, we'll hopefully grow another million or two.
I'm trying to get you to talk just a little bit about the election tonight and not so much about the NRI, forgive me. But in terms of going head-to-head with the unions, as you did in the battleground states, they appear tonight, based on our exit polls, to have been very, very well organized.
I think they were. I mean, they put $100 million into it. They put hundreds of people on the ground. Clearly they were. On the other hand, I also believe they lost a lot of their rank-and-file membership based on this issue. And all you have to do is look at your map tonight. West Virginia, Tennessee, Arkansas, Ohio, Missouri, Wisconsin, Nevada.
Did you lose anywhere tonight? Did you lose any congressional race in the country that you really wanted?
You know, it looks to me like we're doing pretty well. I mean, the Melissa Hart race in Pennsylvania looks like. I mean, I think we've made a major impact on many, many House races, many, many Senate races, thanks to our membership and people that believe in this freedom all over the country. And I thank them. I think they've come together tonight and made a major statement. There was a reason Al Gore was running around these states in the final 2 weeks saying I'm a strong supporter of the Second Amendment.
Thanks, Mr. LaPierre, very much. Appreciate you taking the time to be with us this evening. Thank you. Nice to see you. As we pointed out many times this evening, this battle in the battleground states was very much between labor unions and between the National Rifle Association. The National Rifle Association traveled all over these states in the last 18 days. Mr. LaPierre and Charlton Heston, who's their celebrity president, spent $23 million on a lot of ads. This is an issue on which this organization gives no ground ever. We'll be right back.
ABC News live coverage of the 2000 vote will continue in a moment.
At HG Hill, you can win a car. It's easy and fun, no matter who you are. It's Wheels of Fortune. Wheels of Fortune.
Go to any area HG Hill and pick up your entry form. Then watch News 2's Wheel of Fortune weeknights at 6:30 from November 8th through the 23rd for the screen and secret words. When you get 5 correct words, mail in your card and you can win this new Ford Mustang.
So no matter who you are, you can win a car. A new pair of wheels from HG Hills. It's Wheels of Fortune.
Brought to you by News 2, H.G. Hill and Town and Country Ford.
In communities all across Tennessee, there is change in the air. Healthcare has changed, and so have we. Blue Cross Blue Shield of Tennessee. Today, bringing Tennesseans access to more doctors and hospitals. Today, bringing extra healthcare protection to Tennesseans at any stage in their lives. Hope, health, security. Blue Cross Blue Shield of Tennessee.
Hi, Donnie Wheeler here, Performance Ford, where our name says it all.
Focus Car of the Year's clearance price with rates as low as 2.9%, even on the first-time buyer program. That means no credit necessary, no cosigner, and no big down payment.
Now that's performance.
Have you been on your job and lived at your current address for 12 months? Do you have a checking account? If so, you can drive your new Focus home today.
Now that's performance. Performance Ford. It's more than our name. It's our commitment to you.
There's lots of stuff I don't know. But when it comes to racing, I know the faster, the better. Same thing with headaches. The faster they're gone, the better. That's why I use Goody's headache powder.
Because it's a powder, Goody's dissolves faster than tablets, so it gets rid of headaches fast.
After 40 years of counting on Goody's, I even keep it where I can get at it fast. Goody's headache powder. It's just plain fast.
Elsa was adopted by a man of God, a Tennessee pastor, and his wife. And like any child, she only wanted their love. Instead, Elsa was taken down into a world of slavery, physical torture, and sexual abuse. A nightmare that continued for almost 20 years.
If I fell asleep in church, they'd strip me completely of my clothes, socks and all, and they'd have long water hose, and they'd beat me with it.
Don't miss this News 2 special report, A Survivor Story, Thursday at 10, only on News 2.
Watch Brett Lee at 10 p.m. only on News 2.
This is an ABC News special, The 2000 Vote. Now reporting, Peter Jennings.
Welcome back to our coverage. It's an extraordinary close election. The polls have now closed everywhere in the country, and we are now in the fairly easy position of projecting the presidential race in Alaska. We project it for Mr. Bush. Alaska often cast on maps off the Pacific coast like that. Too far and too Republican for virtually anybody to visit. Pat Buchanan visited there this year. Pat Buchanan is toast this evening in every numerical respect, and so that changes the electoral vote very slightly now. Mr. Bush goes up to 236, and Mr. Gore sits for the moment at 231. But several states, if you look at the big map, Washington, Oregon, Nevada, Iowa, Wisconsin, Arkansas, and Florida, still too close to call. George, based on what you said a few moments ago, any change
Doesn't change much, just a little bit if you look at it from Bush's perspective. Now, if he wins Florida, then all he needs